I'm SJ.
I'm AJ.
And we the Connected Experience.
Bro, what's the Connected Experience?
It's a lifestyle, the lifestyle, our lifestyle.
So
How that lifestyle been treating
you?
you?
To it.
Yeah.
Man, it's always good to me when we get to A, sit with people who we find interesting, and B, introduce those people who we think interesting to our audience.
Yeah,
so it can't not work out.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the lifestyle has been good to me. I can't complain. I'm meeting a lot of people, connecting with a lot of people, watching a lot of people actually do what they say and they go do.
Oh, that's my favorite thing.
That's thing. Like when we ask somebody what they up to, and then they actually do what they said they was up to.
Yeah.
So you got a book or a word?
I got a term, man. My term is barrier. Anything built or serving to bar passage as a railing, a fence, or the like of any natural bar or obstacle. You got a book?
I actually got a book, and I haven't read this book, but I'm hoping that I could get a copy of this book. And the book is actually Living for the Sacrifice, and that's by Mr. BMB. And the reason your word was barrier, and the reason I picked that book, because just following this brother, his career-wise and everything he got going on, he overcame a lot of barriers and obstacles. And I would hope that he was sharing those stories in that book. I tried to find a book everywhere. I couldn't find a book. So
is that good or bad that it's sold out?
I mean, that's good that it's sold out. It's bad that I didn't get a copy. You know what I'm saying? So that worked both ways. But today we got sitting with us on the Connected Experience, Mr. BMB. Could you introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are?
All right, I'm Mr. BMB, also known as Brian Maurice Brown. That's where BMB come from. But the acronym for it is Breaking Major Barriers, like they just spoke of.
Yeah. So we've seen interviews. There's not a lot of you on the line as far as interviews. We actually avid readers, so that's why we've been trying to get the book
since it came out.
So
Amazon ain't be able to get it.
No, it wasn't. When I looked on Amazon, it wasn't on there. It ain't even come up. I mean, to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying?
Now?
Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure to get it. Because normally when we have people who write books or whatever, we bring them in and we get them to sign it because it's always keepsakes. It's something.
If I would have known that, I'd have brought something.
Yeah.
So what we do, bro, with the Connected Experience is we do a show, but then inside that show we do a show called Life After Felonies, right? And we bring on people who lived one life and then like turned it around and lived another life and was able to be successful in a life after felonies. This is a life after felonies, right? This will be part 6. So we had people on who actually went on to be college professors and stuff like that. So with that being said, we appreciate your time for one. You know what I'm saying? And we want to get into your story about, because you big in the music industry. Like, I just was looking and I was like, yo, this is a major record label that's in the city of Detroit. And what I mean by major is like, we do a lot of behind the scenes work, and like for the last 6 years, like your label name has popped up. Like there's a BMB artist when artists was going on tours, because we got some comrades and like like that's our homie, that's our ally also, and we noticed that it's a BMB artist on this tour, or we'd be on the call and have an artist on the call, and it's a BMB artist on this call, and this is right in the city of Detroit, and you grew up in the city of Detroit, so talk about growing up a little bit in the city of Detroit.
Man, I guess it's just like growing up in any other city. You know what I'm saying? It has its good, it has its bads, but most of all, you know, it's made me who I am today.
Yeah.
You know, grew up in the South. I guess I can say West Side, because it's really not Southwest, where like everybody would know Big Meech and T from.
Right. So it's the beginning of the Southwest.
Yeah, like Livernois and Warren area, Number Streets.
Yeah. And what time period is this that you actually growing up?
I would say from when I started making my bones, I want to say from like 88 on.
88 on. Now, it was I watched some previous interviews, and you say that your father and your uncles was major, so you kind of had it easy in the neighborhood, so to speak. You know
pretty much. You know, my family is real big in our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Very, very respected. And my father is just notorious. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Like, period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that gave me somewhat of a passage, but even though it gave me a passage, y'all know the city of Detroit, you know what I'm saying? They don't respect nothing if it ain't you.
Right. But when did you know, like, at what age were you when you knew, like, yo, they somebody out here? Like, what moment did it set in that you was like, okay, like, these is some major players in whatever game they was in?
Probably when I was like 19, when I very first started getting off into the streets kind of tough. And it was a situation where I literally was getting robbed.
Yeah.
And as I was getting robbed, somebody was walking by. Y'all know that's Fonzo's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That nigga gave my shit back and bought me some food.
So he took the loss. He took the loss. Like, don't tell your daddy, man.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. So,
Right.
you know, that's when I became conscious, like, okay, so he's got to be something with the truth.
Yeah. So,
You know what I mean?
so knowing that and seeing that effect, because like, essentially, like we just said, he took the loss. Like, how did you move forward with that type of? That's power.
Mhm.
How did you move forward as a 19-year-old, knowing that your father's name possessed that type of power, that a guy would stop robbing you and buy you something to eat? How did you utilize that?
I really didn't utilize it, you know what I'm saying, at all. You know, most people, like, would probably try to use that to their benefit, but,
Yeah.
you know, like, my path was still somewhat different because, like I said, he was notorious for the pistol game, you know, and he was a notorious hitman, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I didn't want to go down that path, so by me, you know, choosing another path, I wasn't able to really embrace or fully, you know, monopolize off of just that.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying? Because they raised me to be different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with me being different, I took more of a, I guess I can say, a positive, constructive
Approach to what you was doing.
approach to
yeah.
what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? Versus that, in all honesty, in that approach that I took, it's only the neighborhood who really knew me.
Yeah.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Who really knew that? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
So and then the approach I took, it took me worldly.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was living in other countries at 19.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't have helped anyway where I was.
Where he was at, yeah,
you know what
it
I'm
was
saying?
just- yeah, yeah.
It was just local.
Right, right. Because it wasn't like he was there doing it.
Yeah.
He was in this area. So
Exactly.
you say you really jumped in the game and you was like 19. You was actually a college student, and all you really cared about was making $10 a day, and then that just turned into something else. Like the whole $10 a day thing. Like, what could you get for $10 a day at this time?
Well, for me, you know what I'm saying, by my college only being on Grand River and Greenfield, which is like roughly like 3-4 miles away from where I was living at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That'd give me $3 worth of gas and get me there and back and give me
Yeah.
some lunch. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
when it's time for my break at school, so that's all I cared about, to be able to complete school. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it just catapulted in me having the ideology of wanting $10 a day when I started to transition off over into the streets to try to get the money because my parents was mad because I didn't go to the college that they wanted me to go to.
Right.
Okay.
Again, I started off with an 8-ball. You know, my man gave it to me for $100. Yeah, and I just wanted 110. I just wanted to get to school and back.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that people cut $300-400 off an 8-ball. You know what I mean? So I cut 110.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My rocks was bigger than the whole neighborhoods, and before
Was-
you know it,
Right.
before it's even time for me to go to school, I ended up selling 5 or 6 8-balls. So I
Yeah.
got $50 or $60.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm like, okay, I'm cool for the whole week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know that when I came home from school, that it'd be people there waiting on me to still buy more drugs because I had the biggest rocks.
Yeah.
Right, right. So what was you actually going to school for? What did you go to?
Business administration. You know what I'm saying? Because even in high school, I placed it 5th in nationals for indicative District of Education Clubs of America for entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always had that gift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be an entrepreneur. You know?
Yeah. So at this time, you said about 88, around 88, 89, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see in the neighborhood, not just your neighborhood, but the streets is taking a drastic change, and it's this new thing, and you already involved in it because we always talk about like how that we still reap the effects of that era, right? If it's by just the way the younger adults are, because their parents was hooked on drugs, because nobody knew what this would do,
Right.
like how you would get hooked.
Mhm.
So, but you always kind of had a foresight because you always kind of been into music. Like, what attracted you to music as one of your entrepreneur ventures?
Well, honestly, I'm not into music.
Yeah.
I'm into people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And at that particular time, I had a very good friend of mine. His name was Click.
Yeah.
And he was promoting and producing Trick Trick.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and from me having a love for Click, you know what I'm saying, I partnered with him to help further, you know what I'm saying, his dream, which was music.
And that was
Okay.
Click Boom
Which
Records,
was
right?
Click Boom Records. You know what I mean?
And they had a hit too.
Oh, yeah.
What? Damn, that was my shit. What was it?
Shake that, make that.
And
That was
Booty
about
Bounce,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that was on that was when Trick and Proof was on the cover of the album, and Proof had the shotgun. That was a Goon Squad album. They was on the cover of together. I think was that
Yeah.
on Click Boom Records too.
I don't know, but I remember
That album cover, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, And so then when Click passed, me and Trick had formed a great relationship. And because of the love and admiration that I had of, him, his man, and, his talent, I attached myself to him, and we furthered that, you know. And we changed it over to For Show Records, and before you know it, I ended up having a situation, have to go away to prison, and came back and started BMB Records. But for the most part, it was my love for Trick that got me off into
music, right? So let's talk about that. So you had a few indictments, 91, 96, and 99, which actually led to a conviction.
Mm-hmm.
But while you were in prison, I heard you tell us an interesting story, how that you diffused the Race Riot. And I don't think people know how big the race relations is in prison if you've never been. Like, they might see some movies, they might sing Blood In, Blood Out or some shit like that. But like, explain how the race relations in prison actually control what happens on the streets.
Yeah.
Oh man, it controls it probably 200%.
Yeah.
And actually everything is really controlled from the prison more so than it is the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can have, if you got power in prison, you got power in the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that particular situation, we had a guy, from my area that was getting drugs from the Mexicans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he never wanted to pay. So the Mexican kept asking him, what's up with his money? What's up with his money?
Not to cut you off, when you say getting drugs, was he using these drugs or was he selling these
He was
drugs?
supposed to have been selling them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to have been selling them. Now, if he used, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But he was supposed to be selling them.
Right.
So when, he didn't want to pay and the guy kept pressing him, he turned the situation around like
Like they trying to get on him because he's black.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it turned into a big old thing. So I was cool with one of the top Mexicans in my unit, which pretty much ran, that area, and he was part of the Texas Syndicate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
this is federal prison.
This is federal prison.
Okay.
You know what
Now,
I'm saying?
when you go to
that's
federal
that's
prison,
another thing too, man. You know what kills me, man? We as people, we grew up in the streets hustling, and we be saying, man, if I just had a connect, man, I'd be on.
But then,
And then we get to prison, and then we meet all these Mexicans, all these other people who is the connect,
right?
And y'all want to beat the motherfucker up over a microwave.
Right. So you just turned in your connect into your enemy, which is.
And then you go to prison and also hang with the same niggas from the block. Like, you gonna see these niggas. You've been seeing these niggas. You know what I'm saying? This is your opportunity to
network and politics. You know what I'm saying?
So with that being said, like that actually like gave me like some insight to how you may think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like next level thinking. I'm in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I know what everybody say they want. It's right here. I'm not hanging with the niggas I already know. I'm getting to know these people because I'm going to get out of prison, and these people can open some doors for me, whatever that may be. I mean, people meet people who open doors for them, music, business, all type of stuff.
And this is federal prison.
And
So
this
this is federal prison at a time where federal prison meant you was among the smart, not the gun.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
now,
elite.
federal prison is nigga 19 in jail for 20 years because he got a gun case. Like this ain't the same federal prison. Just to put it in the aspect for the listeners, because now when you hear federal prison, it ain't as what it used to be.
Exactly.
So you say you were cool with the Mexican. When you get there, like, how do you forge this relationship? Did he already know who you were by this time?
It wasn't that. It was just the way I carried myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And me being conscious, just paying attention to, and I always been living for the sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I see something that's needed, I'll provide it. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't speak a lick of English, and I couldn't speak a lick of Spanish.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we communicated greatly, you know what I'm saying, amongst just energy, you know what I mean? So with that being said, we formed a great relationship, and he introduced me to, you know what I'm saying, his friends, you know what I'm saying, from other places, and some of them was Colombian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they gained a high respect for me, especially after that one particular race war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because what people don't understand, like, we go there, we really don't want a war.
Right.
But for pride, we don't have no choice but to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in those situations, that joint was so sweet, man. Everybody was making money. Everybody was living. I done made 2 babies in the motherfucker. You know what I mean?
So why mess this up?
Yeah,
Why
you know
mess
what
this
I'm
up for
saying?
everybody?
But how I am though, like I know, like because I'm situated, they can send me anywhere and I still be cool.
Yeah.
Right, but everybody ain't like
But
that.
everybody not situated like that. So now here we go. We got a guy just because he wouldn't pay his ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's finna get 200-300 people that's situated and happy and close to home finna get relocated because he don't want to pay his ticket.
Yeah.
So when the amigo came and told me the situation, you know what I'm saying? I said, hold on, I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. So what I did was, he was a part of a gang. You know what I'm saying? I went to the head of the gang members. You know what I'm saying? I said, what is your bylaws? You know what I'm saying? He was just telling me his bylaws. You know what I'm saying? So I asked him, are you allowed to, you know what I'm saying, do business with somebody and not pay him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he was
Because instead of telling them the situation, you want to know everything
yeah,
correct first.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So when you hit him with the situation, he has to tell the truth.
Yeah, he got to support his own law. You know what I mean? So he was like, oh hell no. You know what I'm saying? He said it hurts him for people to think that gang is anything other than a business.
Yeah.
Right, because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And if for somebody to do business and turn business bad, you know what I'm saying, it puts a bad taste in his mouth to a point to where he wants to kill.
Right, because I'm representing this too, and I'm representing it right up under this flag or logo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when you ain't representing it right, you make us all look bad.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So the actual diffusing of it, like, you set these two individuals down?
Yeah. So after I did that, I told him the situation. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, somebody that's a part of your group, you know what I'm saying, has gotten some, you know what I'm saying, drugs from, you know what I'm saying, my paisano, and by him, instead of him paying, he created a whole disturbance, which you're probably gearing up now
To handle.
Well,
what you think you're handling, but you're actually going for the wrong reasons.
So I just want you to know, you know what I'm saying, this is what it really is.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared to pay the ticket.
Yeah.
And I want to lock up with dude myself to where it's only me and him.
Yeah.
Right. Because he owed a debt.
Yeah, because he owed a debt. So now I just sacrifice myself to where it's only me and him get transferred versus all of y'all.
Right.
Because y'all don't know what the fuck is going on, truthfully. You
Right,
feel
y'all
what I'm
about to
saying?
go to war on false precincts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's some petty shit.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Some real petty shit. So he was like, man, you got to be bullshitting. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. So he called a meeting. They called a meeting. You know what I'm saying? Brought dude. You understand what I'm saying? And got to the bottom of the situation. And they punished dude. And dude ended up going to shoot his motherfucking self.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So from that situation, my respect for...
It grew on both sides.
Hell yeah, because nobody really wants to really do this.
Right.
You know, especially, I'm talking about the joint was sweet, man. You understand what I'm saying? I swear to God, the joint was sweet. So nobody really wants to do this. So, and it became crazy because I ended up being the confidant in somewhere to the whole joint now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a problem, they coming to me because I'm willing to sacrifice myself for, you know what I'm saying?
The better man.
Yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going to save 300 people, man, you know what I mean? This is good.
So, where do you get that type of moral compass from? Like, who put that type of moral compass in you? Because, I mean, even in the game, some people just think it's just savagery and nigga, this is what we do when one thing not directly related to the other until you make it. Like,
violence is not directly related to drug dealing until it's a violence with it,
violent,
right?
violent,
but the romanticism of violence and drug dealing go together. Like, violence and gangster is not related.
Right.
Those two things have actually nothing to do with each other overall. But when you hear, oh, he gangster, the first thing people think is something violent when those two things don't even go together.
Actually, diffusing a gang war
is more gangster.
You know, in a federal facility is more gangster. You couldn't have shot your way out of that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It came out with the same respect. So you had to get this. Somebody instilled these kind of morals and stuff in you. Who would you say that would have been?
It's my father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, you know, almost all of his homicides was in the betterment of protecting something.
Yeah.
Right.
Or somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he really moved off of purpose. If it didn't have no righteous purpose and, you know, protecting something, he really wouldn't do it until he had having a habit.
Yeah.
Right.
Then his habit drove him
To just, I need that.
Yeah,
I need to
you
do
know what
my
I'm saying?
habit, so I do what I'm good at.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm
You know
saying?
what I'm saying?
It would have been no different if he was a bank robber. Once he had to fuel that habit, I'm going to hit as many banks as I can.
And you know something that's crazy, but still, yeah, he would only go to the people who he's already sacrificed himself for to aid his habit.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't already sacrifice myself for you. All I'm asking for is a rock.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes the situation didn't turn bad for the boy because he didn't
do it. Now, you being in the game and you seeing your father develop the habit, like how did that affect you mentally? Because he showed you all these morals and stuff to move on, and then now like you becoming his overall his number one enemy. He's addicted to your
No, he never was my enemy because.
No, I'm not saying him in general.
I got you. Just because of his habit, but what that showed me was because he's always used.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Was that people are people.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, regardless of the situation, and because he can go from snorting to heroin to blowing cocaine, and if you disrespect him, to killing you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it just taught me to respect everybody as a person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that took me a long way in the neighborhood from when I did start hustling and selling rocks because I treated them as actual people. I didn't treat them as crackheads. It was people that use drugs.
And a lot of people who I hear that say they went far in the game adapted that same mentality. I was reading a book or something, and like he said, just because somebody smoked crack, he didn't disrespect them. He said he would see other people who sold drugs spit on them, disrespect them. He said he wouldn't do that. He would do stuff like, okay, they short on their rent, he'd pay the rent because even though they got a habit, they still got kids, they got to live there, and they still people. So like anybody who I notice who go far in the game, and what I mean by far is like to them heights, you know what I'm saying? Like they say like it's just a respect level. You just happen to smoke crack. I'm addicted to getting money. I might have a habit of buying jewelry. The jewelry store man look at me the same as I look at a dope fiend.
Right.
You just a fiend. Every time you make something, you come to spend it with me. So it's just no different. It's just basically drug of choice. So you do the time in jail and then you come home. Like what's because you sound like somebody who planned. What was your plan while you was in there when you came home? Like I'm gonna hit the streets running.
Yeah, well, when I was in there, I had a friend that had great connections or was part of Girls Gone Wild.
Okay.
He was trying to get me to become an investor in that at one point. You know what I'm saying? So when he came to visit me and talked about it, one thing it was a great idea, but I just ain't have nobody to facilitate it because really at that time, all I really trusted was my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and if I put her on it, then that's gonna take her away from me. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to let that pass. But during that time, all I can think about was Girls Going Wild. Like, how can I make it better?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So from prison, I had my wife buy a property, and I gutted it out, and I put cameras all throughout the house, and I turned it into a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week internet interactive reality nude house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, what years are you in prison?
How long I'm in prison from 2001 to 2010.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I did roughly 9 3/4 years.
Right, and this is all federal.
All federal on a 188-month sentence. You know what I'm saying? Then they came out with the crack law, and they took 40 months off my sentence. And then they took 13 months off my sentence from the first conspiracy that I beat.
Okay.
On speedy trial, which is in the law books, U.S. versus Brian Brown. And I went to trial on this one and blew trial.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And they gave me 180. They gave me the top of what I can get on the guidelines.
Yeah.
Plus the enhancements for the gun.
For the goods. So since people about the federal guidelines, since you think they gave you the top of that because you had beat them previously and they just was upset?
Definitely. He said that
Because he said he made the law book, so that's
he
that's
even
precedent.
said that might even be in the paper. He even said that he think I'm a parasite. You know what I'm saying? He feel like I didn't use the law to get away with extra crimes. You know what I'm saying? He feel like I should be put away for life. You know what I'm saying? He said all of those things.
And did the things that he said during that time, did that help you in appeal at any or?
I never was granted an appeal, man.
Oh, so
Like I swear to God, I was never granted an appeal.
yeah.
Right, because the judge saying shit like that would actually seem like it's grounds for an appeal.
Yeah,
like,
because you know the first appeal is 2255, which goes to the actual judge.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't buying it. He just,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
He's saying it. He got to say, yeah.
I'm just locked in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so the only action I did get was the crack law, and that was something that he couldn't get away because the two guys that did testify against me at trial said that they got what they got from me and cooked it up in the crack.
Yeah.
So this is the only way I get action from the crack law.
Right, because you didn't actually sell crack.
Right.
So okay, so you thinking Girls Gone Wild, you gut the house and you put the cameras in there. And how is this business venture working out for you at the time?
Man, honestly, when I came home, that's what I immediately started.
Yeah.
And then I immediately started the music part of it, you know. And so when I actually got the place up and running, I had a guy that I was using for the technical part of it. You know, he really didn't have the brain savvy or the knowledge to actually create it, but he had more than me.
Yeah.
Right.
And by me being loyal to him, you know what I'm saying, I allowed the the height of the company to only go with what he can create.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Or what he can do what's inside him.
Right. So it's that barrier stopped it.
That barrier stopped it because I brought some people from California that already had a porn site that was popping.
Yeah.
And I just wanted him to unite with these people because they was gonna grandfather me in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But his selfishness, his insecurity,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And my loyalty didn't allow that to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we took off, my system was crashing 2 hours, 3 hours.
All because he wanted to be selfish and not
Not
listen
say,
to
hey,
other
I don't
people.
even know how to do this for real. You might, which he should have, because you were so loyal to him. He
Yeah.
could have returned that loyalty. Like, you know what, man, I'm not the right guy for this.
Right.
I can oversee it. Let them do their thing. And that,
Exactly, because if they would have grandfathered me in, I'd immediately attach to their server,
Yeah.
Right.
which is able to handle the bandwidth. You
Of
know what I'm
what's
saying?
about to go on, of
what's about to
24-hour
happen. Yeah,
internet
you know,
access.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So so again, I couldn't handle the energy of it. You know what I'm saying? I put it back up. I got it up to like 300 subscribers at $20,
Yeah.
and it crashed. I was never able to get $1 from that.
Yeah.
Right. So after this crash, basically, after the crash with this, like, now what are you thinking? Because you said that's all you could think
Yeah.
about was the girls going wild. So now it doesn't work.
Right.
But you learn so much.
But I'm also doing the music too now.
Right.
Okay.
So when it crashes, now I got 10 girls who I've got to entertain, provide, stabilize, and protect their energy and mind
Yeah.
and spirit. You know what I'm saying? It just got to be too much. And the music ended up taking off.
Okay.
So I transitioned to the music, and I sent all the girls home. A couple of them stayed longer than most.
Right. But
A couple girls
dwindled down to them
a couple
leaving.
girls had to get the damn police to get them out the house.
Because they had nowhere to go. Like,
it wasn't that. It was just like because I guess I can say, they never been with a visionary
Right.
that made them feel the way that I made them feel. You know what I'm saying? And empowered them the way that I did.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And even when they were there, even though that I didn't get a chance, opportunity to make no money, I still took care of everybody's livelihood.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They benefited because you had to still hold up on your end,
Yeah.
even though the site
Exactly.
didn't pop off. You ever thought about starting that back up?
Yeah, I have. Especially now.
That's what
what I'm saying. Now it's
especially now, because right now you got so many women out here, and it's crazy, man, that needs an outlet.
Yeah.
And it's to the point to where is that they letting the lamest of the lame pimp them because they don't really have no outlet.
And that's what you were saying about the vision. They still don't got no vision for what they want to do for this, like what you're doing, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you said the music is taking off. So when BMB, when I originally began to see it, I think it was kind of like a PSA with you and Trick Trick,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It was Charlie Baltimore as well.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was a funny story, right? So Charlie, because what we do at the Connected Experience, we always try to connect it back to why, like how we started, knowing who these people were. So I used to work at the car rental place, right?
Mhm.
And every so often, Charlie Baltimore used to come in there, and the old ladies used to be like, "Yo, she raps. She say she used to, she from New York and all that." So I'm like, who the fuck could they possibly be talking about, right? You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm the young guy, and we used to rap. So when she came in, I'm like, "Oh yeah, she telling the truth. That was Biggie's girlfriend right at the end, blah blah blah." And then they went like crazy, like, "Oh, he said he does know who you are," and blah blah blah. But ultimately, she was coming in there, and you was outside because I used to see what you used to pull up in, and you used to be outside, and she used to come get the rentals. And then she told me like, "Oh, I'm doing some music out here, blah blah blah." But I never got a chance to get with her with the music. But like she knew that they didn't know who she was. And then when I actually knew, she wasn't like happy, but she was like, "I've been telling them for weeks every time I come in here." So you know what I'm saying? That's like our little connection to watching this whole BMB thing take off because she said she was doing the music, then it was Trick, and then it was all three of y'all. Mm-hmm. So how did you get those two? Oh, we know how you got with Trick. How did you get with Charlie Baltimore?
Wow, it was a friend of mine by the name of Tino went to New York, and he had met her. And from meeting her and talking to her, he was like, "Man, I got the perfect person for you."
Yeah.
And I really haven't started music yet, even though I knew Trick. I just came home. You know what I'm saying? I've probably been home 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I haven't really started music yet. So she ended up coming to Detroit, and I sat down with her. After sitting down with her, I empathized, and I empathized with her pain that she had of the game, but also with her passion that she still had for wanting to like
Yeah, because by this time it had been a long time.
It's been a long
and you can
time.
see that she still like wanted this for some reason.
Yes, man. So with that being said, and with me feeling that the house we was actually sitting at, I made a studio in the basement in 40 days.
And this is after this is a different house from the video house.
Yes, it's a different
Okay,
house.
so you got a house equipped with cameras.
Yeah, I got a with camera, yeah.
And
And
then
now
she say she want to rap, so now
I done
40
put-
days later you got a studio.
A
now.
studio house. Yeah,
Okay.
a real nice studio as well.
Yeah.
Real nice one.
A lot of artists always be connected. You actually Grammy nominated?
Yeah.
Yeah, what song?
We Them Boys.
We the Boys. Explain that, because what you're talking about a Wiz Khalifa song.
Yeah.
And people wouldn't think that somebody from Detroit had something to do with a Wiz Khalifa song. So how did you actually get Grammy nominated for being a part of that record?
Okay, well, we all know Details from Detroit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's actually from my block.
Yeah.
You know, so I ended up hooking up with him. And during the time of hooking up with him, we have done several business situations, you know, and he done several production for my artists, you know, Lil George at that time.
Yeah.
You know, and I just had a vision. I'm like, man, listen, you already got the whole industry wanting everything from you.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I got the resources that you need. You feel what I'm saying? Like, man, listen, we don't need nobody else. Nigga,
Right.
nigga, we them niggas. Like, we them niggas. You know what I mean? I promise you, we all we need.
Yeah.
That nigga took that shit right there as I said that. You understand what I'm saying? It was just bobbing his motherfucking head. I swear to God. 2 hours later, we them boys.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's how I became to be a part of a writer on that. Because instead of saying we them niggas, he said we them boys.
And
Right.
he gave you a right.
You know what I'm
person.
saying? So, yeah.
Yeah, that's real. And
Yeah.
for people, when you say Detail is a producer. He been linked to Cash Money. I mean, he done stuff for a lot of people.
Yeah, you got some
Mhm.
major hits out
He
there.
got some major hits. I actually thought Detail was from Lansing for some reason. But you say from the
Yeah,
city.
he's
from-
when I met him, he was living on my block.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. But I mean, it's still Michigan. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now you Grammy nominated. You putting together a record label. You getting that itch, right?
hmm
So what artists do you see, like, because you had Little George, who was your first artist that you was like, I think this artist could go there?
Cash Pay.
Yeah.
Cash
Oh,
Pay.
yeah,
I remember
yeah,
Cash
yeah.
Pay was
I
down. Yeah.
think Cash Pay was the first one. Then Breezy, Coupon, All American, Free the Gas from Empire.
Yeah,
Then she
now,
was
yes. Now she was on Empire, and a lot of people like was coming at her after that. Like,
Mhm.
what did you secure in her to make her say, like, I'm gonna come from Baltimore when all these major labels is barking at me now? Because I'm not only rapping, I'm on a hit TV show.
Mhm.
Like, what kind of conversation did you have with her to make her feel like I'm gonna come from Baltimore and rock with these Detroit cats? Because them two whole nother worlds, and like everybody was coming at her. Like
Mhm.
that was like gold standard being on Empire if you was an
Yeah.
artist.
Well, what nobody didn't know, prior to Empire, she had lived with me 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so this was already your
Yeah, she was living with me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So we went to Atlanta for something that I wanted. It might have been a beat. Something happened in Atlanta, and because Charlie's from Philly,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, and they end up talking. So
Yeah.
she said she wanted to come up to do some music. Okay, I said cool. You know what I'm saying? So when we ultimately ended up getting her up there, she never left.
So it'll be a running thing.
Yeah, she never left. You know, she ended up being my best fucking friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my savior in a lot of the turmoil that was going on inside of my company.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she was the only one who really kept it true. You know what I'm saying? She would never tell on nobody, but she would put me to the side and give me her opinion on how I should move according to what she's seen.
Yeah.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So she kept it 100 on both sides. With
Right,
me.
right. She ain't selling nobody
No,
out.
she ain't
She's
selling
just-
nobody out.
Yeah, she's
You understand
just-
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So with that being said, my respect for her is just out the roof. And I've been there for without a contract, however she need me.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You
So
understand what I'm
then,
saying?
so
And her loyalty to me,
right,
however I need her.
right. So you was probably one of the first people she told she got the Empire gig.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I think she ended up leaving from the house out there.
To go,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right. So it sounds like all your relationships with the music be so deep. But what I noticed is like y'all label do really good with youngsters, like
Mhm.
like kid stars, like and then y'all had adult stars, but they just never be as big as the kids. Like, so how do you see that? Like, is it because of who that they are kids?
Mainly because kids, they just want to have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Adults, I could have been way more successful. We could have been the first QC out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, as you know, when you level an adult up, you know what I'm saying, and the power that they get, some of them ain't used to it.
Especially an adult male.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they're not used to it. So, you know, once you level them up, they got all these bright ideas and want to go against the grain that got them to where they at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's male or female, you know what I mean? And I'm going to blame all that on me.
Okay.
Because I didn't do no research on where their mental was at.
Right.
It's just like a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You got to always give it tests to find out where you at. Because you can be a Juris Doctorate in a relationship, and they can be in a fucking kindergarten.
Right.
And you won't find out until
It's too late.
Pressure is applied. You're like,
Yeah.
God damn, I thought I had a woman, but I got a little girl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the same with business. You know what I'm saying? You got to always give tests so you can find out where people are at mentally. So not to do away with them, but to bring
See where they go.
to
Yeah,
bring
see
their
where they at.
education up to par. Okay, this is how we're going to do this thing. We're at this level now, but when we get to this level, this is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, like, that just like, and I'm telling you, like, because if we do it this way, then we bring power to our city.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus you going and attaching yourself to a major, now you powerless.
Yeah.
And you didn't surrender.
Gave up everything.
Then you just surrendered the power of the city as well.
Right.
You know, when you could have been a staple piece. You know what I'm saying?
Over here.
So what I did was, when I seen I kept having problems with males, from Cash Down to Lil George to whoever, Cash Pay to whoever, when I started having problems, I said, you know what, man? I'm finna, the shit I'm saying, shit I did for them, I'm finna do for these kids.
Yeah.
Right. And it just
Man,
worked.
they just blew the fucking kid because my system works.
Yeah.
I can blow anybody up.
Yeah.
Blind, deaf, and dumb.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? My system works, man. So, you know, when I apply that to the kids, they just want to have fun. There's no threat. The
Yeah.
biggest threat that I got with my kids is don't want me to get in the swimming pool because I can't swim.
Right. No pressure at all.
Yeah, no
I ain't getting in there.
Yeah, right.
In the discussion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
So
just
we
do
got
it.
one of our partners who was just on Young Ra, and he his daughter went viral one time, and he
Hey.
told a story, and he said, like, when they was meeting with people, he said, but Peanut, because that's what people call you, he said Peanut called me and said, man, just come back to the crib and let's do it this way. And he said he gained so much respect from that because he knew it wasn't like no motives.
Mhm.
Like, he's sitting with these people who just know his daughter from going viral, and when you noticed it was him, you said, well, just come back from the crib, let's do it from the crib. And what type of structure would you want to have, if, because you said you could have been the first QC.
Mhm.
What kind of structure do you want from the city, an incubator do you want from the city with BMB being involved? Because you hear that his daughter in meetings, and you say, no, just come home,
Mhm.
and we can structure something here to make it look bigger. But, like, how do you want BMB involved with these artists from the city?
In any way it can to help further their career and their dreams. Right now, by us having, like, some of the hottest artists that's on top in the top 10,
Right.
the DJs can make a change and bring commerce to the city like it is in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But we can't get them to do it because they more geared to break the artist's pockets or structure versus to break the music.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, like, it's, you know, you hear somebody hot and then they'll fall off because they gotta go get their money back up.
Right.
They
Because
spent their money on this
one record.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And they can't.
And they're not generating no money after once the record dies, it's over.
And the DJs is not helping them because once the money gone, it's over.
Yeah.
And not saying that they don't actually pay them to, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, it costs to do.
Yeah,
you know,
you
It's
know what I
business.
mean?
It's just the cost
Yeah,
of business.
but some of the things that they can do in the movement, they can leverage with just what they have to offer.
Right. So you don't have a concept of good or bad.
No, it's all for direction.
Right.
No such thing. It's just,
When did you discover that about yourself?
Man, probably when I was 19, when I had my turning point from, you know, college to hard body streets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to realize a whole lot to not only be able to transition to being on top of the game in a city like Detroit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't take it with no emotional sleeve. I had to take it from a thought process because I'm a little nigga.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm weighing up 100 pounds, soaking wet. Yeah, at that time, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was shorter than I am now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't got no crew.
Right.
It's just me. So I had to think. I couldn't, every situation, pull out the gun. You know what I mean? Or rally the guns up. You know what I mean? So I had to think. And then I got a family that's in the heart of the city and don't want to move.
Yeah.
Right.
So I couldn't hit and miss.
Yeah.
Right, because it was the consequence.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can lose my family. So now it forced me to think.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like I had to, like every situation, I couldn't deal with it with emotions. I had to, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna eat that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna motivate differently. It's even situations where I knew a guy who actually robbed me, but because how the situation was, I couldn't really address it that way. So what I do, I become friends with the nigga, empower him, let him make 2-3 million, and I rob him back. I know everything. I'm giving him the word.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know when the money gonna be. I know when I know all this.
Right.
So I haven't forgot.
Yeah.
Right.
But by me, by me, I'm using my brain. I have to do it that way.
Right.
I just can't run up over there, because he's one of them niggas. He's one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just can't run up over there, guns blazing. Somebody gonna laugh.
Yeah.
You know
Somebody ain't gonna make it. out
Yeah,
that
you know what I'm
situation.
saying?
Yeah. So what would Peanut today tell that 19-year-old Peanut, knowing what you know right now, knowing how the game go turn out, knowing everything that you know now, what would you say if you got a chance to go back and just talk to him for like 2 minutes?
Man, it's so different now, man. Like it's the World Wide Web, it's the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? It's all of that in one. You know what I'm saying? I would say that for one, you have to. It's a thinking game. It's not a game for bronze.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not a game for bronze, and it's a game of self. You know what I'm saying? Like even though you would want to have your partner, and you know what I'm saying, have your dude that make you feel comfortable, have your dude that make you laugh with you, it ain't that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to have a buffer for a buffer for a buffer.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You got to have about 5 buffers. You understand what I'm saying? Before it even touches you. You know what I mean? Because again, and I'm having a problem right now with a guy that was my closest friend. You know what I'm saying? When I decided to detach myself, is angry because I won't provide my friendship or my resources to further his man when he's his own man.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So when he's forced to become his own man, instead of becoming his own man, he used all his energy to assassinate and attack me and trying to attach me to shit that I ain't got nothing to do with.
Right.
So and that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why you gotta use a buffer for a buffer and
Still hope it work out.
and still hope it work out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's just not a situation for the brawn no more. You got cameras on every corner now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you go to do a homicide, you gotta have the wig, the pumps. You gotta have all that shit on. You know what I'm saying? So the last thing they see is a girl running down the street.
Right. And these niggas got on wigs and pumps anyway, so
Right.
they might as well put a gun in their purse that they carry.
So no.
Because that's real though. But
So the book is called Living for the Sacrifice, right?
Mhm.
And you've just displayed so many different times that you made sacrifices, even up to the point where what you and your who you thought was a close homie would be going through. Who sacrificed for Peanut?
My women.
Yeah.
My wives, man. And that's how they actually become my wife, because the world is so selfish now. The society got the program of everybody being on self-time. The world is so selfish. When a woman actually figures out, you know what I'm saying, and looks past herself to provide any kind of element or energy to support my man or to calm my man or to compliment my man or my movement, I automatically obligate myself to that woman. And if anybody know what a marriage is, it's just a form of obligation.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So when they create that or provide that for me, I marry them.
Right. And so you mentioned the word wife. So let's talk about how you feel like the importance of making sure that you're loved. Because, like you said, you sacrifice for everybody else. So you take on multiple wives. So let's discuss how important it is for you to feel like you're loved, with you showing so much love to other people.
It's really not. My mantra is it's just been that to make sure everybody's good. You know what I'm saying? And I understand, more than ever how the governor of my life, which is karma, has always prevailed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my karma has trumped my faith.
Yeah. Now, because you hear people use the word karma all the time, right?
Mhm.
And karma is actually a Buddhist concept.
Mhm.
So do you subscribe to anything else in Buddhism, or are you just using the word karma because that's just the word that we use?
No, that's just the word that we use, but I studied it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
you actually understand
Yeah,
karma, because
absolutely.
when you hear most people say karma, it comes from a bitter place, and they say you go get your karma. That's normally nothing they want good for you.
Right,
You know,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Right. 9
that's
times
out
out
of
of
10.
10.
That's
Right.
nothing they want good for you. So I was in a conversation with somebody, and they told me that, and I was like, yeah, but you're not a Buddhist, so why would it matter?
Right.
And she was like, what? I said, how I'm gonna get my karma? You're not a Buddhist. And she
Right.
didn't even know that. It clicked. Like, people don't even know they're saying karma, and they don't even know that this is a Buddhist concept. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So now when you hear it and you say, yo, karma out trumped your faith, you looking at karma as something that has to happen anyway,
Yeah.
so it's not good or bad.
Right. So and that comes from the Buddhist Talmud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for the most part, there's two words that people don't understand. That's that word and then pride.
Yeah.
People think pride is always to destroy something.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? When it's actually created to protect. You know what I mean?
Right. Break that down for us.
Meaning, like, you know how when we was coming up from basketball, you gotta have pride, fellas. So what the coach ultimately wanted was us to protect I-0 record.
Right.
And not take a loss. But some of us programmed it like, we gotta go kill them, we gotta go kill them, we gotta go. But it's really not to kill, it's really to protect.
Yeah.
So if we use pride from a protection standpoint more than an aggressive standpoint, you understand what I'm saying? Then a lot of things when it comes to pride, your emotions, like
You will let go.
You'll let go. Like you beefing with your girlfriend, but you want to protect the relationship.
But your pride.
But your pride, if you taught to destroy some shit, it's finna kill her.
Right.
Like, fuck you, bitch, I don't need you anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you use pride from a protection standpoint, I've been loving this girl, I plan to be with her. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna, baby, listen. I didn't mean to hurt you. If you think I hurt you, you know what I'm saying, I apologize. That wasn't my intent.
Right.
You understand? So the whole delivery is different.
Right. But that's the same way we feel about the word motive and motivation. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because anytime you hear somebody speak on a motive, it's never really positive. You know what I'm saying? Like an ulterior motive. So we don't use the word like motivation. We use the word inspiration.
Right.
Because you've never heard inspiration. You can't use inspiration
In a bad way.
Yeah. So like somebody will see you like, oh, peanut my motivation, which actually means they might have a level of hate for you somewhere, and their whole thing is I'm gonna stun on him. But if he say, oh, that's my inspiration, I can only look at you in a light like I can learn something from this guy. I could do this from this. And when we say that to people, if we don't explain it, they be like, no, it ain't like that. And I said, well, just tell me how somebody has inspired you in a negative way. Put that word in any negative way to change my mind, because I could show you motive so many times that is all negative, all negative, all
David,
negative.
when you were on trial for murder, was it a motive to kill that person? Right, so we just never use motivation. We always inspire. We stay inspired by a lot of different things, a lot of different people, a lot of different things, and we just like to inspire others. Like even having you sitting here today, we talked about this with Sid. We talked about this when Sid had his artists on, right? Because we got a list, and we got a list of people we want to interview, and one of our lists is public, and one of our lists is private. Our private list we work on because we feel like when it's time to sit with these people, they've heard about us. That's our private list. You got to do your due diligence, like you said. You got to have a buffer, like you said. Sid just happened to be the buffer in this. We known Sid for a long time. We had him come bring his artists because just the platform. Come bring Nisha, put Nisha on, right? And when we do that, I say, we looking for these people too. We don't know y'all connection. You feel what I'm saying? We don't do it right away. We waited. And we always know if we're doing the right thing because people keep coming up in our life. Rod didn't know we was in the process of trying to get you on. We asked him about his daughter. He mentioned Peanut. You feel what I'm saying? We see stuff going on with artists in the city when they be in New York in certain situations. They mention Peanut, but we might be watching all of this stuff at the same time. Let's call Sid. It's time to hand that up here. You feel what I'm saying? Because even with living for the sacrifice, you sacrificing everything to see somebody else dream. And then you say the people who sacrifice for you are your wives. I practice polygamy also, right? I don't believe in a monogamous concept either. And like sometimes me and my wife looked at funny about that. But we look at you even funnier for thinking that you think
about
you
to
can
be
be
with one person for the rest of your life,
right? And it was my wife. Like my wife bring it to me, right? Like you in that kind of mind space. Other people can learn from you, and that's dope to me.
Right.
So like, how do y'all like explain it? Because you know, especially with women, wherever you meet them at, then they got their own friends, and they friends like, girl, I could never. Like, how do y'all handle that?
Wow. Honestly, we kind of like just allow people to be whoever they are and whatever they believe, you know.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you know, by me living outside myself and been living outside myself, you know, from the very beginning, I just felt like I was different. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I wasn't supposed to be in a relationship anyway.
From the jump.
Yeah, from the jump, you know what I'm saying? Because how I'm living and how I'm living will always compromise today's traditional marriage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with me knowing how I may have to sacrifice myself, you know what I'm saying, to save a soul, to support a soul, to engage a soul, because most women, you know, when you engage with them, the only way they think they can repay you or balance the situation out is to give you themselves.
Right.
And sometimes when you don't, you know, I'm cool, babe. We don't got to do that. Everything that you just taught them, everything that y'all building, you know what I'm saying, can be destroyed because they feel like, nah,
Their pride. They look at their prideful from a different standpoint.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm not worth it. I'm not worth. No, but it's not it. You are worth it. That's why.
I'm not doing
it. You understand what I'm saying? So you know, I want to preserve what we are creating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, and protect that. You know what I mean? So. From my wife understanding that and understanding that, you know what I'm saying, my purpose for engaging is actually for purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's at peace with it. Not only is she at peace with it, if it's anybody that she encounter that feels like that needs my support of my essence, she
introduce them.
You know what I mean?
Right. So the level, so that's first of all, that's like God level. I think the black woman God, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's my whole thinking. Like, you can't get a strong black man to this earth without a black woman.
Yeah.
No matter what. So like, that's my concept. The black woman is God, right? So when she bring people to you, how do they react? Because like, that's unheard of in the traditional sense of the word. Like, his wife know him well enough to know that he can help somebody else in this capacity. Like, do they be thinking like, what like, you've encountered this before, like, what was like the initial thought, like, this can't be real?
Yeah. You know, that's crazy because that's the initial thought, like, this can't be real, this can't be true. Like, I know you're not finna let me, you know, they think of the lowest part of a relationship.
You know why? Because so many people think that sex is the end all be all of your marriage, your relationship. Like, I told my wife, I'm married, and me and my wife don't practice polygamy, but we not ready for it. She's not ready for that. That's a conversation. Like, I'm not sure I'm ready for that. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not but it's like, I told her, more people get divorced because of finances than sex. Period. Oh, that like a dude will let so much go if his wife can bring in some money or whatever. But once the money gone, the sex ain't gonna be the same no way. But people put so much emphasis on sex, and that's like the least of it, because your body over time you're gonna get sex is gonna fade out, and you still gonna be stuck with this person in a sense way longer. So I'm like, we'll fall out over finances before sex, because if a motherfucker ain't pulling whatever the agreement is, if you stop pulling your load, your end of the bargain, then it's a financial thing. You know what I'm saying? Or because if the husband ain't providing, it's a financial thing. You always hear these girls say, well, I never go half with a nigga and blah, blah, blah. You don't always got to go half. You just got to provide something. If you taking care of the household 100% because I'm providing the finances, if I stop providing the finances, you go stop taking care of the household. But everybody puts sex at the top, and that's when people hear you say wives, they automatically think y'all all interact, whether y'all do or not. That's the first thing they think, or they automatically think that it's sexual, and it's not. You know what I'm saying? Right. One wife might feed my intellectual side. One wife might be able to cook better. One wife might be able to bear kids. The other ones can't, because we come from a Muslim background at some point, and I seen where it all made sense, because I had a neighbor. And he had multiple wives, and one of the wives didn't want to have no more kids, and the other one did. That worked perfect for them. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no pressure on her. She could have a kid. So we understand the concept of multiple wives. But you were actually going to go on TV with this concept. Whatever happened with that?
I ended up catching a gun case. You know what I'm saying? And from the gun case, it was also some other things. Charlie was kind of like mad at me because I started dealing with my second wife, which they ended up getting into a fight. So when they got into a fight, you know, her
physical altercation.
Physical altercation. You know, she broke her nose, broke her finger. She kind of messed her up pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I started back dealing with her, the beating that she took from her, Charlie said I did it. So by it being on Lifetime, Lifetime ain't going for the man.
For the domestic violence.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I think I remember that. That was in the news, right?
Yeah, that was in the
they tried
news.
to make like a big story out of like
Yeah.
you just be around here beating women or something.
Yeah, so they wanted to wait till my case is over with so they can actually see that I'm actually not a woman beater, no charges. I've not been convicted of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm due up for December 5th, my case.
Oh, this is still going on to this
still
day.
going on.
It's still going on
It's
to this
still
day.
going on.
So the show is actually they just waiting to press
held in the
play.
best, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I've gotten released far as like, cause they had exclusive rights on me, so I got the exclusivity off of me, and it's actually more people that's finna do a movie on me now.
Or a future film.
Yeah.
Okay,
Future
so
film.
you mentioned like Charlie Baltimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a couple times like in the industry on major platforms your name came up, and one was with Choke No Joke on the Breakfast Club.
Mhm.
This years ago, and I seen you on Choke Live, so I would imagine it's no bad blood, but Choke painted a picture of you that basically had him afraid to tell you that he was no longer wanting to work with you. And he said basically it's cousin Charlie Baltimore.
Yeah.
So how did y'all repair your relationship?
We ended up seeing each other somewhere and we talked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I told him, I say, man, I'm with this woman every day, every night.
Yeah.
I know what she's capable of. I know when she's telling the truth. I know when she ain't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that she could have done to promote me or to, geek me up to hurt you.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because there's nothing that you can actually do to hurt me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you run around with a camera. We ain't doing no street shit. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
I met you as a cameraman.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can hurt me, but emotionally, I'm supposed to kill you behind that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I'm supposed to be there, I'm supposed to be allowed my goddamn self.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just letting him know. So I let him know. I say, man, I never had no intent to hurt you, man. You know what I'm saying? Although she felt like we was getting too close. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to separate it.
Yeah.
It worked on you.
Yeah. The play worked on.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because, when
Because his pride wouldn't allow him to ask you what was going on.
And to communicate.
Right.
You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? So when that happened, I just woke up and he was gone. And it was funny because he called one of my street friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Charlie had then told him that, oh, he gonna kill you, nigga. He gonna kill you, nigga. I ain't never said nothing like that. So when he do the research, you know what I'm saying? And the friend that he talked to, and he said, Charlie said he gonna kill you. Listen, if that nigga say he gonna kill you, he gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Right. So he like, oh shit, man, I gotta get
Man, I
the fuck
looked
away
up,
from
Choke was gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I said, I saw you in his live recently.
Yeah, that's my
so
baby.
So next time you're in the city, we gotta get him up here. 'Cause Choke got an interesting perspective. So and then another time, like Benny Siegel wore a BMB hat at the. I guess this would be like the height of his return.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened with that situation? Because even though we like didn't know you at the time and shit like that, that was big for us because like we said like. It was like becoming like this is a major record label in the city of Detroit. Right. And he up there, he definitely not from Detroit.
Right.
And he got on the BMB hat. So the niggas who knew. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like what happened with that situation?
There was a lot of things that happened, man. One is right-hand man that took ill. I forgot his name. What's the other one name who took?
Freeway got sick. Yeah.
Freeway got sick. You know what I'm saying? So, like Freeway got sick, he was going through something with his family, you know what I'm saying? And he, people evolve.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So from that, he just wanted to just spend time with his kid. That was his most therapeutic thing that would help him was him fucking with his kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So with him investing time in his kids, he just stayed there until he felt like he was healed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then he had a little problem with me. You know what I'm saying? So, like, he just wanted to step away from anything that can possibly create a negativity in his life.
Right.
And just only focus on things that would guarantee him, you know what I'm saying, a positive outcome.
Okay.
And that was his kids.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he just took a backseat and just started messing with his family. And he's back on it now. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking recently.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Directly and indirectly through Billions. You know what I'm saying? Which is his cousin from Detroit, which is how I met him.
That's a small world because I never knew that. And Billions used to be on fire when he came to the promotions back in the day.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
So what's next for BMB? What's next?
Hold
for
on,
BMB?
before let's do this. So we're gonna ask you two questions. We're gonna ask you the worst advice you ever received.
Worst advice I've ever received. What the fuck would that be? Somebody telling me to hire them and don't really possess the resources to motherfucking help a nigga for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no, honestly, like the worst advice I ever seen from a company perspective,
No. In general.
Oh, in general?
Yeah, like just the worst advice. Like when you sit back and think about it, like that was the worst.
Oh, my grandmother. Like every time I go to her with a situation, the first thing she would say is kill him.
Is this your dad's mom? Is this your dad's
my
mom?
dad's mom.
Okay.
I don't care. Man, listen, man. For the first like 6 months of me getting in the game, man, I can go to about anything. Kill a motherfucker. That's the first thing she say, man.
So
like,
being a hit person is obviously
That's in the blood. Yeah, that's in the blood. That's in the blood. So on the opposite end of that, what would be the best advice that you can say that you received in life?
which is I got from my dad when I was like 15. He sent me a book called The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shan, and he said pay attention to people, because people is the only thing in this world that don't change. You might have different shapes, different sizes, different colors, but you can always run to the same person twice.
That's crazy.
So if you pay attention to him well enough the first time, you know what I'm saying, when you meet him the second time, it might not be the same exact person.
But you know the type of person.
The characteristics and the aura emitting from the person's energy, you know what I'm saying? It'll let you know that it's the same person.
Yeah.
So all I gotta do is pull your Rolodex out on that first person that this person remind you of, and you control the tempo of the relationship.
Right. And I used to be in supervision at work, and I always tell my brother, I only managed 5 type of people, but I've managed a lot of people, but they only come in 5 types.
Right.
And I never read that book. I didn't know that book. We can make sure we get that. I never even knew that book existed, but I just, from dealing with people, these are the only type of niggas it is. So it don't matter if wherever I go, wherever I change, you know what I mean? Right now I do union work, same thing, same type of people. 1 of the 5. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, we appreciate your time, man. Tell people how they can get in contact with you.
Man, y'all can get in contact with me on Instagram at Mr. BMB Records, Twitter, BMB Entertainment Group, Facebook, Brian Brown. Outside of that, BMB, www.bmbempire.com.
What can we expect next from BMB as far as music?
As far as music, I'm really just focusing on these kids, but I'm finna go hard with Stewie. I'm certain everybody knows Stewie, the host from 107.5, which is no longer. By him actually having this extra freedom, you know what I'm saying, and the respect that he has for understanding what it means to actually create a real movement of unity and loyalty and love. We finna go hard with Stewie, so be expecting Stewie to do something great.
Okay. What about you, bro? Where can they contact us?
They can contact us on Twitter and Instagram at TCE Pod. Yo, what if they want to hit you and tell you how much they like the show?
PR@tcohh.org. That's PR@tcohh.org.
I'm SJ. Hold on. You want to say something?
Yeah, I did. Also, if anybody's that's out there from the young, that's any kind of influencers, I'm finna do an influence tour with my youngins. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn Queen. Probably Q9 too. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be like an influencer tour with like YouTubers and dancers, etc.
Yeah. Now, right before we close this, since you work with the children, anybody been on? Damn, my daughter loves that shit. The Rap Game.
No,
none
none of my ex, but damn, all of their friends are that communicate with.
Yeah, because I be seeing Brooklyn and what's my young baby name from the A? Got the colored dreads. I think what's that nigga name? Is his manager? I can't think of his name. My daughter used to he was like one of her favorites.
Oh, and speaking of the book, Living for the Sacrifice, it's only one left on Amazon right now. So so I can't order yours.
I got
Or you go.
I got you.
Yeah. So if you go autograph them, because like I said, they keepsakes for us, man. Like we go read
Put
them.
them in the library.
Put them in the library. We actually had Jay Prince up here when he was here. You know what I'm saying? And I will put this interview along the same lines of respect as with a Jay Prince. You know what I'm saying? Because we familiar with the backstory. Can't wait for the movie, documentaries, or whatever you go do. If this is your platform, our platform is yours now. So anybody that you got on the label that you want to have come through, any artist that's coming through the city, and you like, hey, y'all need some press, you connect with us through said, you can get them up here because it's not a problem, because we actually have a concept that we live by. I'm SJ.
I'm AJ.
I want for my brother what I want for myself.
Okay.